Welcome to the Go Find Nervous Show, the show where we find out at least three experiences or try to find three experiences from our guest's journey to success, experiences that made them nervous. I'm really excited about our guest today. Let me tell you about her. She brought massive innovation to her family mortgage business at a pretty young age. And I think she's probably wise beyond her years. And I'm excited to talk to her today and share her story with you guys. Katie Givens is with us. Katie, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Jake. This is exciting.
I'm
This
excited to talk to you.
Absolutely. Well,
So,
that was a very nice introduction.
well, let's get right into it because we don't have much time. We never have enough time, and I know
Yeah.
I'm going to run out of time with you as well because you got a super interesting story. So, you at a young age kind of came into your family business and said, "Hey, I have this idea. I can innovate." Give me the background of that story and how you've been able to take this to this road to success that you've had.
Yeah, so I started with my dad's team, the close team at Cornerstone Home Lending, about 5 years ago. And it's backed by $1 billion mortgage company. We're
Hmm.
solely a mortgage company, residential all the way, baby. So we just burn them and turn them
Yeah.
for residential mortgages. But um, when my dad called me, I was moving back home to Oklahoma from Houston, and I had formerly worked for the University of Houston golf team, and then I worked for iHeartMedia, which is very interesting to a lot of people. It was really fun. So radio sales was a little bit different,
Hmm.
but he said, "Hey, I think that you would really like to come work in this industry." And I thought, mortgages, that's so boring to me. I have no idea about that. I don't own a home. I
Right.
like renting. I liked having the convenience of being on the go. I traveled a lot.
Hmm.
Um, so when I went, you had to take certain tests and kind of be put in a little bit of a box, is what I thought at first.
Mm.
So I was a little bit nervous, and I was sitting there one day, and I'll just kind of fast forward my story.
Oh, you're good.
Um,
Yeah.
and I thought, there's got to be more to this. Who are my clients?
Hmm.
They're not the people I'm giving mortgages to. My clients are my realtors. And I said,
Mm.
okay, you know, a lot of people go out and ask for business,
Hmm.
but where's the gap? Where can I find a plug where I can say, how can I add value to your business?
Mm.
And I feel a lot of that is sales, and a lot of that is selling yourself and what
Hmm.
you're doing. And people have this, negative connotation toward that because they're nervous to go ask for business.
Hmm.
And I thought, well, if I could provide a spectacular service and I know what I have, what if I can go add value in a different way, in a different, unique angle to these
Hmm.
realtors, and approach them as such and go, hey, what if I help you grow your business? Then we all grow together
Mm.
instead of just, hey, send me some business and we'll handle your loans and get it done for you.
Right. Call
And
me when you need
so,
me. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And, growing up, I wasn't, in my opinion, I wasn't the smartest. I didn't make the highest. My sisters could walk in their sleep and ace a test.
Hmm.
And that wasn't me. I was a C student. I was in
Hmm.
AP English. I loved reading and literature and all that. And I loved learning, but I wasn't, when it came to exam time, I always thought, well, there has to be more than one answer sometimes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
handling math equations. And um, so I knew in college that I wanted to study public relations, and
Hmm.
I never thought that would be too useful. I just thought, I'm a people person and I
Hmm.
wanted to learn how to grow businesses. And so I kind of went at the industry with a different angle. And here I am 5 years later, and we average about just my dad and I 275 closings a year, which is huge. So I'll break that down for you. An average loan officer in the United States does about 6 to 8 mortgages a year, and we average about 20 to 25, and sometimes we get up 30 plus a month.
Hmm.
And so it's pretty spectacular that we've seen this growth expansion really quickly. But all I had to do was get over the thought process of, oh, what is everyone going to think? I'm not smart enough in this industry. I know
Mm,
nothing of this industry.
mm,
But I know how to talk to people, and
yeah.
you can find out what people's struggles and challenges are and help them overcome that. And if you just find out how to add value to someone's life, then it adds value to your life. So that was a unique approach that I went for. And when
Hmm.
we started out, my first year, I remember we closed about 16 million in home loans, and then
Hmm.
this last year we did 68 million in home loans. So, and that was 5 years later. So
Yeah.
my team has grown since then. They're fabulous. They're great. Got a bunch of girls on our team. My dad loves his all girl team,
I
and
bet. Yeah.
yeah, so we have a good time with it. So that's a little bit about what I do at this point with the
That
business.
that's
So
so cool how you found you said so many things in there that I have questions about. So one thing that you just said was you felt like you weren't smart enough. Like you felt, well, what do I know? What people aren't going to listen to me, but you found a way. How did you know, or how, where did you learn to have that intuition to be like, wait, I don't know how to do this, but I know I can talk to people, or and I know I can talk to
so
people, even though I don't know what I'm
are
talking
you
about,
with
but I can
me?
go in and
I
find it.
kind of lost you.
Yeah.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
really hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
All right. Back from a little technical difficulty here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back to the question. How did you know to play off your skill set? And you mentioned at first you didn't think you were like smart enough. You're like, I don't know all this stuff. But how did you know I don't need to know all this stuff? I can
Right.
use what I have and go use that in the marketplace.
Right. So I think growing up, I learned a lot about what I thought about school. I
Hmm.
used to put people who could take a test and ace it, more, they were on a pedestal to me. And
Hmm.
then when I went to OU, I thought, okay, do you ever watch American Idol? And
I've
on
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, on American Idol, Simon Cowell, can he sing? No. So he has
Ah.
no talent, but he knows the talent. So
Mm,
I thought, okay, I can do that. If I don't have a natural skill or ability, I'm going to know those people who do, and I'm going to be a connector, and I'm going
mm,
to embrace that, and I'm going to go to college. And I set forth at OU, and I remember getting to campus, and I looked around and I thought, I'm going to know as many people as I can know,
hmm.
genuinely know them, not just know their names. I'm going to know
Right.
about them, what they're about, what they specialize in, what they're good at.
Hmm.
So when one person over here needs a connection over here, I got you. I can hook you up. I can
Yeah.
add value to your life. And I didn't have to know that skill set.
Right.
All I had to do was connect those people. And then, people, you gain trust that way.
Hmm.
And it's also, partnering and looking to have those quality bonds and relationships. It's
Yeah.
quality over quantity.
Hmm.
But if you can always look for the value that you can add in people's lives, I talk a lot about that, and I may sound redundant, but it's true.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to have some special skill set. You
Hmm.
just have to know people, and you have to learn how to talk to people. And it is kind of nerve-wracking talking to people that you don't know, getting to know them,
Hmm.
and everyone starts somewhere. I used to say that to myself over and over and over, because when you get out of school, everyone always says, oh, experience required. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
How do you get that? How do you
Hmm.
obtain experience? You have to start somewhere. So you have to break down that barrier of, oh, I have little to no experience. I don't have any experience. I don't have any sort of special skill set.
Hmm.
So I just played off of people's strengths rather than my weakness. And
Mm,
I knew that I wasn't, gifted in any one particular thing other than getting to know people and their strengths. And if you do that, you can bridge a gap,
mm,
that you can go, okay, I can cross these bridges and these barriers of these walls that you put up thinking I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm a little intimidated, I
mhm,
feel a little less than. But you
mhm,
know what? It's really not that difficult. It's just having conversations with people.
mhm.
So that's kind of when my wheels started to change when I went to school at Oklahoma, I think, and I started to formulate a different mindset other than putting myself in this, oh, I'm a C average student. It
Right.
was, It was, no, okay, I may not have this skill set, but what can I do? So it was
Right.
reevaluating myself, playing off of my strengths, outsourcing my weaknesses, basically.
That's a great insight right there. And when I was in college, I
So
was just trying to like play baseball and I didn't even care about
that's
any of that stuff.
awesome.
I was like, let me just
Hey.
do this. But that's you're
But
ahead
hey,
of the
you had
game.
a no, like you had a mission and you had a goal. So you had a purpose in baseball. And
Yeah.
if I had that in sports, I would have felt that way as well.
Yeah.
So since you kind of feel like you're out there floating and you don't have anything that you can grip onto, I just kind of invented my own. So in essence, that's where my own job description came from,
Yeah.
and now you hear business development everywhere, but in my industry, it is not a normal thing to hear business development in the mortgage industry. It's just
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
And, people deal with numbers and titles and everything. I could care
Right.
less about a title.
Yeah.
It's what society puts on us and it's what your
Yeah.
corporations put on you. But instead, you just find what you love, what you're passionate about, but what you're good at as well. And I'm not my mom used to say, girls, if if you can't sing, I'm going to let you know so you don't go try out on national TV and embarrass yourselves. And I
Yeah.
appreciated that. So
Yeah.
she didn't really sugarcoat and say, oh, you can do anything you want. She would try to steer us toward our strengths. And I
Yeah.
really appreciated that because, I think people nowadays, we all think like, oh, the sky's the limit. And that is true. But why not capitalize on your strengths,
Hmm.
outsource your weakness, and you'll get somewhere a lot faster that you want to go to.
I
So,
think that's really good advice and really good for your mom to say that too, because I agree with it. It's like you really can't do anything you want to do. Like that's not
right.
true. That's
It's
not
not
true.
realistic.
It
Right.
yeah, it's not even true. Really, like
Hmm.
I can't do
Right.
certain things. I can't throw a baseball at 95 miles an hour. I don't care how much I try. It's not
Correct.
gonna happen.
Yes.
So it's like that's good insight from your mother as well. Let me ask about when you first started going out and talk to people. Have you always been able to talk to people? Have you always been comfortable doing that, or is it acquired skill
Yes.
that took time?
Yes and no. So yes, one-on-one. In group
Uh-huh.
settings, no. I actually, that was the worst grade I ever made at Oklahoma, was public speaking. And I
Really?
am when we took the company pays for you to take a disc profile test. So it's actually very intense. It's not just something you get online.
Yeah.
And I scored the highest I in the entire company nationwide, to so much extent that the lady in charge of them called my dad and said, well, your daughter just scored the lowest in every category and the highest I in the entire company nationwide out of 47 states. And that meant that my social skills were off the chart. And basically, he said, well, what does this mean? And she said, don't micromanage her.
Mm,
And so, yes, I can talk to people. But what's weird is that I think people just expect extroverts to be able to public speak, and that is not
sure.
the case at all. I
Sure.
know some introverts that are very well at public speaking. I am not a public speaker.
Hmm.
I don't even really do video like this. I'm one-on-one in
Hmm.
person.
Hmm.
I'm not afraid of that. I that doesn't hold me back when it comes to group settings, or when I started out, I used to think, oh, okay, what if I can't answer their questions?
Hmm. Hmm.
And that was a fear I had to overcome in my mind, that it's okay to tell people, I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to find out for you and follow up with them. You don't have to know everything. I used to think of it like a test in my own mind.
Right.
And I used to put a lot of pressure on myself in that regard, saying, wow, if I'm going to go out and speak to people, I'm going to have to know every single thing that they're going to ask
Hmm.
me. And that's not the case. Again, it's just building relationships. So, yes and no. Am I good at speaking to people? And it's just kind of a matter of, every situation deserves evaluation. And I've tried to push myself and know that, what, I do know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I'm not providing them bad service. We're providing them excellent service. Everyone's
Hmm.
happy at the end. So why should I put that on myself, that I'm not good enough to go out and speak to them?
Hmm.
Someone's
Hmm.
got to service and give them loans for their clients. Why not us? And so
Right.
it's all about a mentality shift. So,
That's great advice because you don't have to know everything, right? Like just like
no.
you said, you if you're being truthful, if you're being honest, if you're being open to people, people understand that you're not going to know everything.
Right.
And, give me a second. I'll get back to you. So that's good to know
Exactly.
that. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. So you did say something we talked the other day and you're talking about going for no. What does that mean to you? And how
Yeah,
important is that to you?
so I don't like to be told no, whether it's an oldest child syndrome, the oldest grandchild on both sides.
Yeah.
You typically, um, when you're the firstborn, you typically get what you want as a
Hmm.
little child, and that's just truthful, you do. And so growing up, I never liked being told no, but
Hmm.
now it makes me feel uncomfortable, almost like a negative confrontation. I'm not a confrontational person at all, or
Hmm.
woman. I'm a very strong woman, but I disengage with any sort of conflict.
Hmm.
And I've had to learn that in business, sometimes it's not personal, it's business. And I take a lot of things, I used to, anyways, take a lot of things personally. And
Hmm.
I had to, again, shift my mindset and
Yeah.
think it's not personal, it's business.
Right.
And
Right.
here's
Right.
why. And so my mother used to tell me, you go for no. So, not saying you want to expect the bad or the negative or the
Hmm.
no's, but go with, "Hey, I have nothing to lose. What
Hmm.
is the worst they can do? Say no? Okay.
Right.
So hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And, good things come of that." And so I had to start preparing myself because I was afraid to even, I could get as far as converse conversing with people,
Yeah.
learning about them, knowing their pains and pleasures, even if I knew I could fix some of their challenges in the
Hmm.
industry,
Hmm.
I would have a hard time asking for their business. And I had to readjust my mindset and think, okay, I'm going to go for no.
Mm.
So if I go for that and just think, okay, if the worst they're gonna say is no, then I have nothing to lose at all. And what
Right.
I found is that people were really taken aback, going, I appreciate this. I appreciate that you're asking me this. It's not a hard push or anything. It's, hey,
Hmm.
this is what I offer after
Hmm.
listening to you. I think I could really fix your problem here.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really been great. I've had great partnerships flourish from that mentality. So I
Yeah.
had to shift being told no. I used to really get down on myself if I told no. I thought that was me failing. If I
Hmm.
was told, oh, no, a
Right.
no was a fail. And
Right.
that is not true. So,
I love that. No is often not a fail, right? No is often just like
mhm,
not the right time or it's not the fit. And most of the
right.
time, no in the long run is good for you too, because at least you know. I'd rather have no than I
Exactly.
don't know or maybe or kind of
Exactly.
sorta, right? Like now
Hmm.
you have a place that you can actually operate from.
Start
So
from. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Right
And
on.
really fast, just because and we always say it's so funny in my industry, a lot of people who apply with banks and stuff, they're told no.
Hmm.
And I always have said from day one, we're not going to say no. We're going to say, here's not right now, not right now while you qualify. Maybe
Hmm.
it's credit, maybe it's bad history with employment, maybe it's something that we need to work on.
Hmm.
We say it's not right now,
Hmm.
and here's a game plan. So we
Yeah.
never try to use the word no, it's not right now. And I love
Interesting.
that
Yeah.
because years later, people could come back who told you no and say, hey, my lender is retiring. I want to talk to you. You kept at it, you kept in contact with me.
Hmm.
I appreciated that from you. And,
Hmm.
people respect you when you're upfront and honest. So,
Yeah, I like that a lot. And if you give them that kind of feedback and it's polite feedback, like you're still on their team, like you still want to help them. It's
right,
not going to work right now. And if you're a good person, I think
exactly.
that's what happens, right? And people remember
Hmm.
that. People remember that. As long as they're
Absolutely.
comfortable, yeah, they'll come back maybe 2, 3 years later. I mean, I've done
Right.
deals at 5 years. I'm like, oh wait, 5 years ago. Okay, wow.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the other day you compared selling or your business development, like in a psychological aspect to dating. It's kind of the same thing as what you're talking about, the
Hmm.
approach or how you go about it. Can
Yeah.
you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So, I hate the term sales. Ugh,
Yeah,
that's such a turn off. You know, in the regard of being nervous,
yeah.
up front, talking to strangers, everyone feels a little bit of, whether it's butterflies or nerves or something. There's something, what will they think of me? Will they reject me?
Hmm.
And I feel that we do this in dating as well, and it's something psychological that we put on ourselves. It's a lot
Hmm.
of pressure,
Yeah.
when really someone else coming to meet us is probably thinking the same thing. How will this person accept me? How will they
Mm,
think of me in this career? Will they respect me as a person?
hmm.
And a lot of people are so engrossed in me that I try and remove myself from the me's and ask the actual questions, like we talked about,
Mm,
and what they're looking for, what
yeah.
they're wanting. But here's what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm wanting. I want good
Right.
partners just as much as they want good quality realtor or lenders. I want good quality partner realtors.
Yep. Yep.
And so it's just like dating. Well, so much when we go out on our first dates and stuff, we think, oh, what are they going to think of me? What are
Yeah.
they going to ask of me?
Yeah.
And will they judge me? And
Hmm.
instead, we should be asking, what are they looking for in a partner? And what
Yeah.
am I looking for in a partner?
Right.
And it's funny, when I met my husband, I flipped that mentality to my business mentality and I started asking those questions up front. What are you looking for?
Yeah.
Because maybe something someone is looking for isn't something that you are looking for.
Right.
And instead of just, talking so much, it's about listening. Let's
Yeah.
listen, let's hear what they are needing deep down, and then see if we can match that. And sometimes it's not a good fit, and sometimes it's an excellent fit. But I
Mm,
think that you cut out a lot of nerves when you start thinking about the other person as your equal and going, hey, you know, what is this person going to be asking of me? Am I
hmm.
ready to share that? And so I try and reevaluate, okay, here are our things we can offer in our business. And so, again, it's so much stress and pressure we put on ourselves in society. And I think
Yeah.
social media has a big thing to do with it. But
Yeah.
if you take a step back and it's about meditating in your mind space and think about the other person first before just me,
Hmm.
then I think that that mentality will shift and you won't be as nervous as you would be, in the beginning.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of upfront conversations in person or over the phone get canceled because people are too nervous to even go for that ask. But if you change your mentality, I think that that really works out in the long run.
That is fantastic advice. I agree with you 100% on all that. That
Thank
is
you.
fantastic advice.
Mm.
Got to wrap it up now. Katie, where can people follow
Awesome.
you and come get some of this wisdom that you're dropping right now?
Well, hey, I appreciate you, Jake. As always, your show is amazing to me and inspiring. You really pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Thank you.
Underscore Katie Gibbons is my normal handle on Instagram. And then at the close team, like we're close friends on Instagram as well, would be great. It's my business page. So really appreciate all that you do. And thank you again for your time and having me today.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And everybody listening, go follow Katie and watch her journey. So thanks, Katie, for being here, and we'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. Awesome. Thanks,
All
Jake.
right. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, one last thing before you go, leave a comment. Which example did you most align with from today's show? I'm curious. I want to know. Also, if there's somebody that you want to find out what's made them nervous, leave their name in the comment. I'll try to get them on the show. Follow me on social media at Jake Bolig. Follow the show at Go Find Nervous. And if you don't mind, subscribe. It helps me out the whole algorithm thing. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Go Find Nervous.